He picked up a pencil and pressed it hard against his younger brother's eye. The tip was just about to pierce when, at the critical moment, the lead broke. It seemed his brother was truly asleep. He let out a strange, eerie smile and slipped away quietly. But the very next second, every single night, the brother with the bad leg would sneak out of the house. This time, Jack secretly followed him. Suddenly, he nearly got caught. But fortunately, his brother did not notice. When his brother saw no one was around, the man who had limped for 20 years suddenly walked normally, moving quickly and steadily. His 20-year-long limp had been nothing but an act. Jack immediately sensed something was very wrong. He watched his brother get into a taxi, so Jack quickly stopped another one. During the ride, he stared intensely at the car ahead, utterly confused. His brother had always been an excellent student, better than him in almost every way except for his bad leg. Why had he suddenly become a completely different person? Finally, his brother got out of the taxi in a narrow alley. He lit a cigarette skillfully. What happened next was even more shocking.
사장님 오셨습니다. 넌 들어가. 야, 이 개새끼들. 일 처리를 똑바로 할 거야. 죄송합니다, 사장님.
Several men addressed him as boss, and he looked as if he was about to carry out something dangerous, walking straight toward the depths of the alley. Jack was terrified, but he still followed quietly, determined to uncover the truth. Before long, he lost sight of his brother. Had he been discovered? Jack was so nervous that he barely dared to breathe.
아이, 씨발. 왜 여기까지 가서 일을 복잡하게 만들어? 그게 아니고요. 이 자식 정말 답답하네.
He was confused when the two men called him Mr. He was still in high school. If he was caught, it would all be over. With nowhere to hide in the alley, he ran into a tiny side lane to conceal himself. Suddenly, one of the men was about to come closer, and Jack was hiding right there.
야, 너 저쪽 한번 가봐. 나 이쪽 가볼 테니까.
At that moment, it hit him. These two men were the same police officers who had come to his house to investigate. He recalled that his brother had been kidnapped suddenly one day. Jack knew he could not catch up, so he quickly wrote down the license plate number. But the two police officers who visited their home could not find any leads. Just when the whole family was at a loss, his brother came back on his own, yet he could not remember anything that had happened. The doctor said he might have lost his memory due to severe trauma. The more Jack thought about it, the more frightened he became. Why had his brother become a boss after returning? As he was lost in thought, a pair of large hands covered his mouth tightly. Behind him was his brother's cold, expressionless face. When he opened his eyes again, he was back in his room. Could everything that happened last night have been a dream?
뭐야, 잘했어? 왜 이렇게 놀라?
Jack tried to escape the room, but his brother grabbed him and pinned him to the ground.
어떻게 설명할 거야? 너 약 먹었어? 어제. 어?
What he said suddenly made sense. Jack had a mental condition, so he had to take medicine every day. That morning, his pills had fallen under the cabinet, so he had forgotten to take them. Last night's events must really have been hallucinations. This time, his brother watched him take his medicine before leaving. However, Jack found the broken pencil lead on the desk. The fear inside him exploded completely. He told his mother everything, and they decided to follow his brother that night. That evening, he overheard his mother on a strange phone call behind the door.
그러면서 어제 지가 뒷좌석 가서 본 거 다 말하더라고.
Jack froze in terror.
나한테 분명히
His mother immediately became alert. She pretended to stand up and move around.
그 말이야. 그렇지. 그러니까 내 말은 아무도 없어요? 내가 아까 봤다니까.
When he heard she was going to check his room, Jack ran barefoot through the heavy rain, desperate to get back to his room. To make sure no one had been listening, his mother took a knife from the kitchen and walked quietly toward Jack's room. At the same time, Jack was climbing back up to his second floor room through a crack in the wall. Just before his mother opened the door, he lay back on his bed, pretending to be asleep. His mother looked at his soaking wet hair and the rain on his face but did not expose him. She only gave an even stranger smile and turned to leave. Jack lifted his head in fear.
이제 일어났니?
Only to see his mother still standing outside the door she had never left. Jack could not even breathe normally.
땀을 많이 흘렸네. 아주 많이.
His entire family seemed to have changed. He had to escape. He jumped from the second floor. Jack ran outside desperately, but his father was already blocking his way at the front door, wearing the same airy smile. Behind him, his mother and the police officer surrounded him. They had stopped pretending. Jack pushed his father aside and ran wildly down the rain-soaked street. Luckily, the police station was just around the corner. He endured the sharp pain in his leg and limped toward it as fast as he could. Finally, he stopped a police car. Inside the police station, Jack thought he was finally safe. As he told the police everything that had happened at home, they looked at him with a strange, sympathetic gaze. One officer even smiled and called him Mr.
아저씨,
Jack was stunned. He was only 21 and had not even graduated from high school. The police pulled up his information. It showed that Jack was actually 41 years old, born in 1977.
저 21살인데요?
아니 아저씨야, 그건 올해는 2017년, 응?
But the calendar at home clearly showed 1997. Trembling, Jack turned toward a mirror. A middle-aged man's face, full of wrinkles and freckles, stared back at him. He touched his face in horror. The truth was revealed in an even crueler way. He was taken back to his so-called home. Inside the room was only a realistic model of a terrible crime scene, with a bloodstained dummy on the floor. His entire family stepped out from behind him.
나한테 무슨 짓 한 거야?
His brother dropped the act completely. It turned out that 20 years ago, a horrific family tragedy had occurred in that very room. A mother and daughter had been killed, and only a young boy had survived. The killer was never found, even after the statute of limitations expired. But the victim's family had never given up. That surviving boy, now grown up, had finally found the culprit, Jack. Jack had been living like a homeless man. When caught, he suffered from selective amnesia due to severe mental trauma. No matter what happened, he could not remember the terrible things he had done. Killing him directly would have been too easy. The brother wanted to find out if there had been someone else pulling the strings behind the truth. So they found a top hypnotist to reconstruct the world from 20 years ago, trapping Jack in the past, the year he committed the crime. That was how everything began.
어머, 이 땀 좀 봐.
Everyone playing his family was an actor, guiding him to reveal his deeply buried memories. The so-called mental medicine he took every day was actually hypnotic medicine to unlock his memories. The brothers' fake kidnapping happened because their illegal detention was noticed by the police, who took him in for questioning. Once all the groundwork was laid, they recreated the crime scene to force him to remember everything. Hearing this, Jack refused to believe it. He insisted he was innocent.
난 사람 죽인 적 없어.
이 쓰레기 같은 새끼야.
He seized a chance to jump out of the car and run away again. At that moment, a truck sped toward him. The extreme pain as he was hit finally unlocked his painful memories. 20 years ago, Jack's family had a car accident on a spring trip. His parents died instantly, and his real brother was seriously injured and unconscious, needing a huge sum for surgery. At 21, Jack became the family's only provider. He sold everything and begged for help, but no one was willing to assist him. With nowhere else to turn, someone contacted him online to commit a terrible act. The money offered was exactly enough for his brother's surgery. To save his brother, he was willing to sacrifice everything. Jack took the address and weapon provided and arrived at the house. When he saw the warm scene of the mother and daughter in bed, he gave up. He was not a bad person at heart. But as he prepared to leave, he was spotted by the young girl who had come out of the bathroom. Panicked, things quickly got out of control. The mother also appeared. Jack's mind broke down completely. In a state of extreme fear, things took a tragic turn. Full of regret, he was about to flee when a young boy walked out of the room. Jack could not hurt him. He told the boy to count from 0 to 100, and his mother would be back. After leaving, he met the person who had hired him. It was none other than his brother's chief doctor. The doctor was also on the verge of bankruptcy due to the financial crisis and planned to kill his wife to claim insurance money. He had planned everything, knowing Jack desperately needed money. When the doctor learned what had happened to his daughter, he snapped and attacked Jack. During the struggle, the doctor fell to his death by accident. Jack finally remembered everything. He also realized that the man pretending to be his brother was the little boy from that year. Now, he was ready to use a powerful sedative on Jack. At that moment, Jack, who had denied everything,
이 새끼도 죽였어요, 이 씨발놈아! 그 죽은 여자 남편이 시킨 거야? 네 아버지가 시킨 거냐고!
spoke up. He did not reveal the rest of the truth. He did not want the little boy from back then to lose his last sense of family, so he took all the blame alone.
너,
But the brother was in tears. He had already guessed the truth long ago but had refused to believe it, which was why he had been so determined to uncover it. After learning the whole truth, he felt he had nothing left to live for. Jack also took the deadly sedative. He was ready to reunite with his family. This Korean drama Memories of a Dead End may seem like a suspense thriller, but at its core lies a deeply tragic story. Set against the backdrop of a devastating financial crisis, Jack's choices carry a heart-wrenching sense of fate. He was not born a monster. He was a lamb driven to the edge of despair. Through clever storytelling, the director shows us that everyone had their own seemingly understandable reasons, but their actions fell like dominoes, eventually leading to the destruction of them all. This is not a story about an evil person committing crimes. It is the tragedy of an ordinary man trapped by the tide of the times. When pushed to the edge of fate, when even survival becomes a struggle, how much weight does morality really hold? That may be the real question the director wants us to think about. Alright, that's the end of today's story. See you next time.